Okay, now we're going to do Holt's method for trended data. So Holt's method really is an adaptation of exponential smoothing, and we're adding in a term for trend. So in this case, I simulated some other data where we see that the trend is going upwards consistently. And there is some error in it. It goes up and down, some noise, but we see that it is indeed going up. So we need two more things, two more sub-calculations in order to get our forecast. We need to get an estimate for level, and we need to get an estimate for trend. And the formulas I write down here. So level is basically this formula here, and trend is the formula right below. And then after we have those values, we can put together our overall forecast. And I already left here the forecast accuracy measures and our overall measures. In this case, we have two constants. One is alpha and the other one is beta. So let's get started. And in order to get started with this forecast, we do need some initiation for level and trend. And I'm just going to use 100. And for the trend, let's use 3, for example. Okay. So the formula for level basically is alpha times the demand time t, which is right here, plus 1 minus alpha multiplied by the level at t minus 1, which is the 100 we just guessed here, plus the trend at t minus 1, which is the 3 that we just guessed. Okay, that's this formula. And I hit OK and move over to trend. Now trend equals beta, so it's a value we don't have yet. I'm going to fix that by hitting F4, multiplied by the level at time t, which is the level we had just calculated, minus the level at time t minus 1, which is right here, and we close the parenthesis, plus 1 minus beta, again fixed, multiplied by the trend at t minus 1, so the previous trend we had. Hit enter. Okay, and this gives us our value for 3. Now let's just use some values for alpha and beta. I'm going to just use 0.5 and 0.5 again. Okay, and now we can put together the forecast. So in order to forecast, we cannot create a forecast in this period. We have to move over at t. M we're going to keep, that's how many periods we forecast ahead. So we're going to keep m equals 1. So then we forecast at t plus 1. So t plus 1, we're currently at time t. If you would use these values, then we would need to move over here. But we can just use our initialization values. So our level is right here, it's 100 we guessed, plus, I'm going to just say 1 times, just so we remember that m will equal to 1, times the trend. Okay, so that gives us a value of 103, and now I'm going to just copy everything down. Alright, so that created our forecast, and we can see that the forecast is actually rising, and it's fairly stable as well. we see our accuracy measures. Our U statistic is 0.9. Our MSE is 402. We're about 11% off on average in either direction. It so happens our mean error is 0, which means we have a very unbiased forecast. Okay, so now all we need to do is to change alpha and beta, or basically to optimize them, and we're going to use solver for that. And I already typed that in. We're going to optimize based on the MSE. We want to minimize it by changing the variables in these two cells right here, subject to the constraints that they are between 0 and 1. We use the evolutionary method, and when we hit solve, we'll start off and hopefully give us a better forecast with better accuracy measures than what we currently have. We do see, since we're focusing on the MSE, we're going to try as much as possible to get rid of these large errors right here, because these create the largest values for the squared error, and these are our largest misses. So we want to avoid our large misses as much as possible. Hopefully by adjusting alpha and beta we can get them a little smaller. Now the other thing that's happening here is we could, if we wanted to use an m equals 2, we could do that as well. So we couldn't start in period 2, we'd have to start in period 3 and just adjust the formulas a little bit. We get two values, one for alpha of 0.29 and one of 0.06. And I hit OK and keep these. And we see our U statistic went down, our MSE went down, and our forecast became a little bit more stable. And overall, it's closer to a final demand. Okay.